We're going to talk to our old friend Brian Baldinger and get his thoughts on if the Arizona Cardinals are right back in the thick of the NFC West. Can they get the job done with a very low percentage to do so, Johnny?
Plus, Budda Baker got paid. Who could be next in line? Who should be next in line for an Arizona Cardinal robust free agent class? That and more starts now. Hey, welcome in live from Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. It's the PHNX Cardinals podcast, your premier #1 Arizona Cardinal podcast. Downloaded, subscribed, whatever you call for. We have arrived. I'm Johnny Venerable. He is Brack, Damon, Dawg, producer extraordinaire behind the mic. We got our guy, ALLCITY NFL analyst, Brian Baldinger, is going to join the show live in just a couple minutes. We're going to talk Budda Baker extension. But first, I want to welcome everybody here on the premier Arizona Cardinal podcast. Be sure to check out our friends at Bet365, presenting sponsor on today's show. Download the app today. Use the bonus code PHNX365 when you sign up. Find out why. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary with Bet365. Hasn't been an ordinary week, Brack, for the Arizona Cardinals.
No, it certainly hasn't. Key player missing in action as far as the practice goes today. Got to hear from some key members of the organization on the heels of the Budda Baker extension, how Budda's feeling, how Jonathan Gannon likes it. Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr. talking about Budda and, of course, themselves trying to get that downfield passing game going. But first, let's take a roll call. I see everybody in the chat. Mike D, Shaft, Claymore Jones, Jules Felix, DD, sick of my job. So many great people. Mr. Fat Gangster Ozzy, Jack Smith, Caboose, love that name. So many great people, including producer Damon, Dawg, as you mentioned. Squad's here, and we're ready to talk some Cards ball.
We're fired up here on a football Wednesday with the Arizona Cardinals, presumably 3 wins away from winning the NFC West and what that may entail. But first, we're going to continue our debrief yesterday. So it broke on the show. Budda Baker, according to the team site, a 3-year contract extension. And, I was doing some digging, some tea leaf digging. And we had reported earlier this year that James Conner was the priority to get done, right? That, no disrespect to anybody else, but running back James Conner was a mandate for Jonathan Gannon and Monty Ossenford. Budda Baker deserves all the praise like he's been given over the last 24 hours because he very much forced this issue with his on-field play and specifically his leadership. And here's a little nugget that we got off air pertaining to this. Jonathan Gannon was a huge advocate, maybe the #1 reason why Budda Baker re-signed with this team. So let me restate that. Jonathan Gannon and his presence here with the Arizona Cardinals, the #1 factor outside of money for Budda Baker to remain here, not to test free agency. Budda Baker's 3 games away from free agency. Budda Baker could have taken his talents to Jacksonville or Kansas City. He could have tried to get more money. His belief, we're told off air, in Jonathan Gannon, and I'm not just blowing smoke, is the #1 reason he's here. And that should make you feel incredible. It's the first time I felt real confidence with a head coach recruiter and a developer of talent, really since Bruce Arians. When Bruce Arians could get players gravitas to get them to want to come and play for this franchise, for this bird, Jonathan Gannon is picking up the baton, thank goodness. And I'm excited for all parties involved because they deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, JG said that much today, basically saying that one of the biggest parts of this deal getting done was Budda's want to get the deal done, want to be an Arizona Cardinal. Let's just get into it as far as maybe the comments from the Cardinals head coach about not only locking up Budda Baker, but James Conner and what it means to him in the franchise.
Really good players with a lot of leadership with those guys, which is huge to me because I think they help keep everybody in alignment. And they're premier players, you know what I mean? So it's like, and they're good people. So that's who we want to build the team around, and I think that the value of continuity, especially in today's NFL, it might be undervalued by some people, not this building.
A lot of stuff we were saying yesterday when the news broke, when you look at the last two extended players on both sides of the football for the Cardinals and their ages and their positions and how those are kind of a couple things that have been under fire the last couple seasons around the league. The players themselves buck those trends for their respective positions just by their approach, especially their preparation, how they get themselves ready week in and week out, how they lead in the locker room, and then how they play on the field, their motor played, and their of course the violence that they play with. It all embodies the type of player that the Cardinals want to deploy these days, and it's backed up there by their head coach and then some.
Who could be next, Brock, for the Arizona Cardinals to extend this offseason, or maybe before the start of the offseason? I was incorrect. I thought they would wait to extend Budda if they would, maybe let him test the free agent market. They were proactive, and there's no reason to believe outside, now you're getting James Conner and Budda secure. Like, why stop there? Because as we pointed out on yesterday's show, Monty Ossenford clearly is in attack mode this offseason, and he does not want to be in a position where he has to play defense with his own players, his own talent. So he's being aggressive now. Budda Baker got a very healthy contract, the highest for a third contract safety, and we're excited to see that. Who else could be extended? Let's take a look at a group of pending free agents, but one. And I put the number one up top because it does feel like, especially because of Jonathan Gannon's comments, Bo, we're on a collision course to see Trey McBride becoming one of, if not the highest paid tight end in the NFL. Let's start there. Do you believe Trey McBride is the next signee for the Arizona Cardinals?
I do. I hope that they make it as easy as they've made it with James Conner and Budda Baker. But obviously, in some cases with negotiations, it's not as easy as expected. But as soon he's eligible as soon as the final whistle blows on his third NFL season. But yeah, I mean, I think that there's two willing parties that want to remain together. It's just going to come down to how quickly they can come to some common ground as far as what the number looks like. I would imagine they look at the most recent tight end to get extended in TJ Hawkinson. And I think that's probably, Trey McBride would best that by a few $1 million and get him locked up along with the rest of the core beyond, going some of them into the 2028 season, like Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. and Darius Robinson.
Highest paid tight end in the NFL remains Travis Kelce. He's getting just over $17 million per year. Hawkinson, as you mentioned, number 2, 16.5, Kittle at 15, Dallas Goedert at 14. I think you and I would be both pretty surprised if our guy Trey McBride didn't crack the top 4. He's significantly better than Dallas Goedert, Mark Andrews at this age, Evan Ingram. So it's like, okay, does he eclipse Travis Kelce? Does he eclipse TJ Hawkinson? I would expect Trey McBride's contract to be in the neighborhood of $16, $18 million a year. And I think you're talking about an ascending player, a player that's going to age better as time goes by in this offense. He's on pace right now. He should eclipse 1,000 yards receiving this weekend, which is, I mean, for Cardinal fans who've grown up with this franchise, it's been a tight end horror show. I mean, as much as we complain about, and I'm at the forefront, the lack of usage for Marvin, this inept passing game, it's Trey McBride's show right now through the air, and he definitely deserves it. So, again, I would expect that certainly before, the offseason kicks in with OTAs, et cetera. And you have time if you're Monty Ossenford. Like, I don't expect Trey McBride to hold out or make this ugly. I think if you can do what you did with Budda Baker, which our guy Craig Morgan reported earlier this week, where you can have ongoing talks and have that come to a crescendo, I think where you get in trouble is, hey, Trey, we're going to wait until the offseason to tackle this. I don't think Monty Ossenford is going to screw around there. Let's look ahead to this impending free agent class, Bo, and you give me your pick. Let's go back to the graphic, if we could, Damon, Dawg. Give me your pick as to, okay, let's assume Trey McBride's taken care of. He's a blue chip, 25 years old. From Kazir White all the way down to Dennis Gardeck, who is your number one free agent for the Arizona Cardinals that you feel like they have to bring back?
Man, this is a tough list. What's going to be the status of Will Hernandez with his knee injury? I think Will fits into the new culture of the Arizona Cardinals, and I'd love to see him come back. But his age and coming off an injury, is that a position that the team tries to continue to get younger at? I really like the two defensive linemen here, and LJ Collier and Roy Lopez is two guys that just out of necessity, because beyond, Darius Robinson and Dante Stills and wanting to have that rotation, to get one of these guys and not both of them locked in, especially Collier, who's playing at such a high level right now, to kind of make sure before you hit free agency, you've at least got some pieces in place at that position.
You'll be shocked when I say this. If Baron Browning continues to play well as the season progresses, I would say maybe he's not my number one, but he rushes the passer. And if you're going into this offseason and you're looking for an alpha, a war daddy on the other side, you probably do worse than a platoon of Baron Browning and Zaven Collins, right? So, but I'm with you. I think Kazir White makes the most sense because he's an extension of Budda Baker. He is the captain of that defense. He calls the defense, and you just don't have an heir apparent ready to go. Because I think if you try to ask Mack Wilson to do what Kazir White does, it limits the versatility of a Mack Wilson. So I don't think Kazir White would cost that much. I think it's also a good recruiting pitch. Like we've been told, Hassan Reddick would be open to coming to Arizona. Why not welcome him with his buddy Kazir White, Nick Rallis and company? So I think Kazir makes the most sense. And then for me, it's a mixture of Collier and Baron Browning and like an Evan Brown. But if you can upgrade over those guys, I'm all for it.
No doubt about it. And the Kazir conversation continues to kind of go with the continuity that Jonathan Gannon talked about. And he's got I think a little negotiating leverage that the defensive coordinator gave his newborn son, his middle name. It's like, hey, let's keep this thing going. Let's just find some common ground here. I want to be here. You want me here. Let's continue this thing for beyond his 2-year stint so far. Yeah, Kazir White, especially his last 2 games, Kazir White's been an animal. 25 total tackles for the Cardinals, off ball linebacker. He's been healthy after missing, the end of last year with the biceps tear. Just keep him in the fold. And if you do get somebody in the draft, or you continue to develop a guy like Owen Papo, then great. But you can do it with, your in-house successor with the guy remaining here to develop him.
Yeah, and there's no significant cuts that need to be made at this time. I would expect them to bring back Bilal Nichols and, see what happens with somebody like Justin Jones. So, we talked about Jalen Thompson yesterday. There are some contracts that I think that they'll continue to warrant. But for me, it's like whatever Nick Rallis needs on this defense, continuity, new pieces, older pieces, free agents, draft picks, give Nick Rallis what he asked for. Because unlike Drew Petzing in this offense, they deserve the benefit of the doubt. If he's like, I want to roll with Kazir White, re-sign Kazir White. He signed a modest little 2-year deal a couple of years ago. Run that back. You have more money than all but 2 other NFL franchises in Washington and New England. So I'm optimistic. It should be a stress-free free agency for Arizona Cardinal fans. Is it a stress-free weekend for the Arizona Cardinals in Carolina? We're going to ask Baldy that around the corner. Everybody, try to get us. Let's do our best. 500 likes here on a football Wednesday. We got Baldy live. Shoot your questions in for our premier All-City NFL analyst. He is coming right up around the corner. Again, drop us a like. Do you like what you see with our friends at Circle K? How could you not? It's America's thirst stop. Right now, join the Inner Circle for free. The membership program, so easy to download. Enter your email, phone number to be fully enrolled. After that, all you got to do, just have your phone number ready to go to get those sweet, sweet deals. Save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. Save 3 cents per gallon every single day. Plus plenty of other member exclusive deals and discounts, like the Polar Pop, the Froster for just 79 cents. I I got a sweet tooth. I love all the candy that they have. I love the homegrown candy from Circle K. And I love being a part of the inner circle for free, by the way, by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com, Bo, for more details.
Tough to beat that. Love our friends over at Circle K. Also love our friends over at Verizon because they want to hook you up with 4 premium tickets to see the Phoenix Suns play hoops this season. Go to gophnx.com/Verizon right now for your chance to win 4 lower level seats to the Suns game on January 12th, along with prepaid parking. You don't have to do really anything as far as getting into the arena and where you're going to set up your ride while you watch the Suns play hoops. Get ready for those free Suns tickets. Register right now. gophnx.com/Verizon. Also check out all the great things going on with Verizon right now. Of course, we have the opportunity to get a $200 Verizon gift card when you switch to the most reliable service plan that you can find around the United States. I love my Verizon phone. I've had it for far too long. I mean, as long as I've had a cell phone, I've had Verizon, and I love it. Never have to think twice if I'm going to have the service, if I can get a text out or if get a phone call out. But check it out. And while you're doing so, go to gophnx.com. Get yourself to a Suns game. 4 lower bowl tickets plus prepaid parking. Check it out. Thank you to Verizon for hooking up our PHNX family. No purchase necessary. Sweepstakes ends Friday, January 3rd. So get in right now and also look into that Verizon gift card. You're not going to regret it.
I'm not going to regret this news. Michael Penix found out he was the starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons while doing what? Eating a Costco hot dog. Wow.
No way.
Yeah.
Little Costco $1.50 glizz.
Boom. He's a Costco guy.
Yeah. How many booms do you think he gave for being named the starter? 5 big booms?
Damon? Yeah, that's what we need. It's a Costco Christmas here on PHNX Cardinals. Love that news. Love our next guest, NFL ALLCITY analyst, joining us every week at this time. Our guy, Brian Baldinger. What's up, Baldy?
Oh, I'm just doing that holiday thing, man. Just getting things up and getting the gifts and kind of doing some football at the same time, like everybody else, just kind of rushing around a little bit.
Yeah, we're all trying to find time to shop and then also check out all the game film. I'm sure that's high priority. Yeah, right. We're looking at a Cardinals team that finally put the stops to a 3-game losing skid against an albeit 3-win Patriots team, 30-17. What was your takeaway as far as the Cardinals, especially on the offensive side of the football, in that win over Drake May and crew?
Well, you got the big run by Connor. That really. It's 3-0. It's anybody, and you get that and you finish the run. You finish it. I mean, Jonah gets the touchdown, but, you jump out to a 10-0 lead. You don't make mistakes. You don't turn it over. You're perfect on third down defense. You see Darius Robbins get his first sack. I mean, there's some things that stood out. Obviously we'll get to Budda, but, he's just roaming back there making every single play, him and Kazir in the middle of the field. And so, I thought they played a complete game. Now, it's the New England Patriots, a rookie quarterback. All right, but still, it feels good to win a game convincingly like they did.
Baldy's appearance brought to you by our friends at Verizon Insider Access segment powered by Verizon. Visit a Verizon store, switch to their award-winning 5G network, get a $200 gift card. And Baldy, you mentioned it. Arizona Cardinals extend Budda Baker, 28 years old, 3-year deal. One of the highest for a safety of his age. And I just think that speaks to his presence on the team. The passion he brings. We had kind of been tipped off earlier this year that, James Conner was a big priority and they were going to kind of wait and see with Budda. Is it just simple as like Budda became a damn near mandate to extend given his play on the field?
No doubt. No question. You can't let a guy like Budda walk. Safeties are a premium in this business. We saw Xavier McKinney, we've seen Jesse Bates, Justin Simmons, all these top flight safeties all get paid. You let them hit the open market, they're going to get signed. It's not one of these deals, well, go test the market, Budda, and then come back. The top flight safeties move. It's hard to find them in the draft. They don't really have safeties like that in college. It's, they're cover corners, whatever. I think it was the right thing. He leads the whole NFL with safeties with tackles. I think he's second in the league in total tackles. Mm-hmm. He's a beast. And he shows up every week. So I think if you're going to build this thing, you got to build it with strong pillars. You got to build a strong foundation. I don't know, just from a character standpoint and a production standpoint, that you could get a whole lot better on any team than James Conner and Budda Baker.
What have you seen from Budda? Because we've seen him play at a high level for such a long time. 2017, he enters the league. He's a special teams ace, and then just pops as far as the safety position. But it really feels like in his second season under Jonathan Gannon and Nick Rollis, he just pre-snap, he seems to be putting himself in such a great position to take down opposing ball carriers. Between Budda Baker and Kazir White, the last two games, Baldy, they've got 50-plus tackles combined. I mean, it's an insane stat, but you can believe it just watching how Budda plays. You know, you call him, the Cobra strike out there. What have you seen as far as Budda and where he's taken his game?
Well, I did something at the Pro Bowl with him maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And, you know, I just pointed out, like, you can make all these tackles and you can make all these hits. And I don't know how he does it, because when you see him, obviously, you know, he's not a big guy, but he has this ability to strike, and he's a great tackler. Every one of his 10 tackles the other day, I mean, on the legs, wrapped up, two hands. He's not diving at guys' feet, trying to knock them off their feet like some guys. Like, he is a good form tackler. I think it's one of the reasons why he actually stays healthy for the most part. But, you know, I did say that you're not going to get talked about loudly and nationwide or league-wide until you start taking the ball away. And so he has improved that stat. It's not big this year, but it is a concern. I thought he was too intent on making tackles and maybe not seeing enough where you could get the tip balls and jump in front of a receiver, that kind of thing. So I think he's improved in that area. But it's just he seems to have either an incredible instinct of where the ball is going, because he is moving at the snap in the direction where most of the time the play is going, or he just has a great deal of freelance to come out of the sky and come down there in the run game. He tackled every tight end that caught the ball the other day, and just be able to recognize where the ball is going. He's got a sixth sense about that, or you know, Nick just gives him great freelance to go where he feels like he can go make the play.
Baldy, it feels like we're on a collision course, the Arizona Cardinals with the LA Rams in 2 weeks. But before we get there, Cardinals have to take care of business this weekend at Carolina, who, you know, sans last week, they didn't really show up against Dallas. You know, they're much more competitive this year. You know, how would you attack Carolina specifically if you're Arizona? Is it just as simple as you go to the well with James Conner and Trey McBride and then let your defensive ends pin their ears back?
Well, I mean, I saw Rico Dowdle run for 150 yards against him. I mean, it was right between the tackles. Like, if I'm James Conner and I'm looking and that's with 3 backup offensive linemen for the Cowboys, like, I'd be pretty excited if I was, you know, the offensive line here, you know, and I was even Isaiah Adams, whatever. Like, I'd be pretty excited about running the ball at him. They've lost their best player early in the year, Derek Brown. I mean, he was a great player. But they lost him. So, Ashawn Robinson, he's a good player. They took the Eagles the week before to the brink. They could have easily won that game. If Leggett catches that ball at the goal line, he gets behind the safeties, they win the game. So, like, you know, they've been very competitive. Bryce has played a lot better. You know, Robert Hunt is a Pro Bowl right guard. That guy is both guards, Damian Lewis and Hunt. They're really good players. And they seem to play hard. Like, Bryce Young is trying to prove to the world that he belongs in the NFL, that he's a starter. He's not a backup. Don't write me off yet. So, he's doing everything he can right now. The last 6 weeks since he came in for Andy Dalton, I'll bet, without looking at the stats, I believe he's thrown more touchdowns than interceptions since that time.
You know, Kyler Murray was asked today, is this a trap game? And he laughed at it because he's like, hey, our backs are against the wall. We know we understand the assignment, basically. We just know we have to win this football game. When we watch this team against the Patriots, you know, James Conner, 110 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns. You talk about how the Carolina Panthers are right there, maybe run the football, but should there be a sense of urgency to get this passing attack up to snuff going into week 17 against the Rams team and maybe the last opportunities this weekend?
Well, Marvin Harrison is not going to see anybody like Christian Gonzalez. I mean, that guy is a lockdown corner. Now, I mean, Marvin had his problem. I saw him after the game doing jersey swap or whatever, but that guy is an elite player. Like, if he's not in the top 5 corners in this league, you're not watching football. Like, he is an excellent player, and he had Marvin's number. They tried to get it to him. He didn't let him breathe. But, you know, I mean, Marvin does have to, period. I mean, whoever he's playing against this week in Carolina, you know, I mean, I could spit out all the corners. But, I mean, he's got to go. He's got to start winning some of these matchups. Like, he just does. I said if they're going to get to the playoffs, he's got to be a big part of it. Trey McBride's got to find the end zone. You can't go a whole year and catch 100 passes and not catch a touchdown. The only guy I've seen that ever came – I mean, Keyshawn did that one year in Tampa. They were ready to run him out of town. But, I do think the passing game has to get better, especially, if you're on that collision course with the Rams. Maybe this is a good week to work on it. I always feel like I don't think this is a trap game because we're not in the trap game season. You got to win and you need help. That's not a trap game. You have to like if you overlook Carolina, it's over anyways. So there's no trap game in week 16. You just got to keep winning. It's a prelude. It's a Final Four. Like, you got to play your way into the postseason. So you can't take any days or any games or anything off at this point. Yeah, you got to finish the season right now. They need 3 wins to get in, and they need some help.
As some teams, licking their wounds, Detroit comes to mind. Some of these teams that are breaking down physically. You look at the Cardinals and their defensive line. They acquire Baron Browning at the trade deadline. He looks like he's turned the corner a little bit. And then Darius Robinson, lo and behold, I think he's played a month's worth of games now. And look at that. He has a sack last week, looks more and more comfortable. What have you seen now from the 27th overall pick, and is it encouraging for you?
Well, I think the encouraging thing was he played more snaps than any other defensive lineman. All right, I think he played 30 or 31 snaps. So he played more than Lopez. He played more than Collier. So now he's not starting, but that might have changed this week. I want my best players on the field. Yeah. Like, he's had enough of a warm up here. I think it's time to put him out there. I'd be surprised, honestly, if he doesn't start this week. You got to play your best players. And so I believe, he plays that 5 tech, basically a 3 technique, when they're in a reduced front to try and stop this rushing attack. Because that's the strength of Carolina. Chuba Hubbard's a good back. That's your strength against these 2 guards. Put your best players out there. I think he's earned that right. But, Barron, was a good player in Denver. Got to learn a new scheme. Sometimes an adjustment. He got to the quarterback last week. It's, let's look, quarterback hunting season. This is a good time of the year. You want to go out there and shoot pheasants? That's great if you're a hunter. But if you're a defensive lineman, it's time to go hunt quarterbacks right now.
NFL Network made the choice to pick up the Cardinals and Rams in Week 17. It's a primetime game. It's gonna back cleanup as far as the triple header goes.
Yeah.
Outside of winning on Sunday and making that game just as important, what do you need to see from the Cardinals going up a much improved Rams team that they saw way back in Week 2? And I got to imagine they're a much better football team.
Well, I think they've won 4 of the 5, and they put up 44 against Buffalo, who's a great team. I've seen a couple things. One, the commitment to Kyron Williams is as much as anybody is committing to anybody. He's carried it 29 times in each of the last 2 games. He is a great back. Not a good back. He's a great back. He's got contact balance. He catches the ball. He's an excellent pass protector of Matt Stafford. So that's that. They fixed their offensive line. Bo Limmer, the rookie, they were kind of in and out with him. He's their center. Avila's back. They've got their offensive line together. And now, Puka is healthy and he's just a beast. And Cooper is there. But you can't overlook Tutu Atwell. The guy can just fly. You can't overlook DeMarcus Robinson. Their offense is clicking. And then defensively, they've drafted 4 guys in the last 2 years. And they're all Byron Young, Kobe Turner, Braden Fisk, Jared Verse. They're all good players. And they play the game the right way. And you can just see the arc with these kids. Kobe Turner had 2 sacks last week. He's got 16 sacks. He started 11 games last year. He started 14 this year. He's got 16 sacks in 25 starts from a 1 technique. There's not many guys that have done that. But I know the kid. He works with this Krav Maga expert in the Israeli martial arts. And you could see his work with his hands and the things that he does inside to stay unblocked. He's crafty.
This holiday season, check out Baldy's Breakdown Store. Stocking stuffers. Is that what your family can expect? Are you just dishing out your merch this holiday season?
Look, I can, for all my nieces, I just had one today. She loves Christmas. She's got the 7-day countdown going down. She's getting Baldy's Breakdown. She's going to school up in upstate New York. It's 18 degrees outside. You better stay warm. Yeah, they're all getting it. That's it. They're getting the headbands and the hats and the coffee mugs. They're getting the whole assortment of it.
What's the one Baldy family tradition that you guys have around the holidays? Anything?
I'm going to be down in Florida this year, so we're having a big Christmas Eve party.
Nice.
So the problem right now is, I don't know how this has happened exactly, and I don't know if I should say. Like my girlfriend bought a ham. It's $240 for a ham. I go that better feed an army.
What?
Like, $240 for a ham. Like I was
award-winning pig,
and she's pretty thrifty. She goes, oh, but it comes with dessert. And I'm like, $240. That ham better be a heavenly ham. So we got ham, we got turkey. I know we're gonna have more people than we can count. So that's gonna be a fun night, Christmas Eve.
We got to sell some hoodies then. If you got to pay $240 for a ham,
I need to sell a few more to pay for this Christmas Eve party.
Fingers crossed we're having some fun with you this time next week as we preview hopefully what will be a pivotal matchup.
Look, I mean, you got a battle in the NFC South to Atlanta. They just made the move to PHNX. I thought they would make the move a couple weeks ago, honestly. But like this is the biggest. I mean, you got a battle in the NFC North. You got a major battle in the NFC West. Like there's a lot of important football games that are going to feel like that game with the Rams. It's going to feel like a playoff game. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be played like one.
It's going to be a great time to introduce new fans to this Cardinal team, and hopefully Kyler Murray's second act. Yes. Last time he played the Rams late in the season on prime time, it was a horror show. Not too many times you get retribution like that. Baldy, you're the best. Appreciate you, my friend.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, Johnny Bo, you bet, man. All the best. Merry Christmas. I guess maybe we'll do it. I don't know. Next week, probably. You tell me.
We'll check in. Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
All right, man.
See you guys.
Great stuff from Brian Baldinger, of course, brought to you by our friends over at Verizon. It's your insider access. Thanks to our friends over at Verizon. Check out Verizon right now to check out some of the great deals there, Johnny. $200 gift card.
I need a $240 gift card to buy that ham. That's a first round ham right there. We got more coming up. Hold or fold the line. Plus, you're going to hear from Kyler Murray right around the corner. Drop a like. It's PHNX Cardinals. Drop a like for the Fiesta Bowl. Bowl season has arrived. There was some kind of rinky-dink bowl last night. I saw some coach get coffee spilled on him, and I'm like, "What is this? What kind of bowl game is this?" I'm not sure if you guys saw that or not. It's just a bunch of cold brew came on to a coach, and I was like, "Can we get
the alternative?"
Yeah, true. I'm like, can we get to the real bowl season, which is headlined, of course, by the Fiesta Bowl here in Glendale. Viva the fans, viva New Year's Eve, and viva a new era of college football. It's the VRBO Fiesta Bowl as they're hosting the first playoff quarterfinal in history, taking place December 31st, 5:30 p.m. Boise, Ashton Gentry and company are taking on the winner of SMU Penn State. Love that SMU quarterback. It's fantastic. Come early for the New Year's Eve Fiesta Bowl that starts at 2:30 with the Fan Fest pregame. It's a block party leading up to the big game. Band performances, cheerleaders, fun and games, beverages, and more. Do not miss it. It is first class. Join us for the first ever college football playoff quarterfinal at the VRBO Fiesta Bowl. Buy your tickets now. Reserve parking and premium experiences at fiestabowl.org/tickets. And Viva Fiesta. And I'm just going to say right now, I've been to the Fiesta Bowl. Certainly you and I have been to State Farm Stadium many times. I would be significantly jealous if my team was not playing here in Glendale this late in the year. I can't think of a better place to watch a bowl game.
Yeah, I like both quarterbacks, Penn State and SMU, whoever makes it to the dance with against Boise State and taking the runner-up in the Heisman Trophy. So you don't have to get that. And Boise State has already played the greatest game probably ever played at State Farm Stadium / University of Phoenix Stadium.
It's true. So true.
Check that out. Yeah, Viva Fiesta.
I watched Jay Ajayi and the Boise State Broncos.
I know wasn't great.
Take it to the Arizona Wildcats in person at the Fiesta Bowl.
Good old Rich Rod and like Newt Solomon did not have a fun day that day.
All I know is pain.
You're having a tough time.
Let's get on to happier times with our friends over at Empire Today. You're always going to be in a better mood when you have great flooring. If your carpet's looking up to snuff or you nice, beautiful hardwood floors like we have in our studio out there, Studio A, brand new flooring from Empire Today. I watched them with my own eyes install the flooring. Talk about a great performance. Empire Today was in their bag that day. They always are. They make it quick, easy, convenient to upgrade your flooring. You can check them out online, empiretoday.com/PHNX, and that's going to start you right up $350. They're going to give you $350 off new flooring by going to empiretoday.com/PHNX. You can tap into their virtual floor designer. Just use your smartphone, take a picture of your dwelling, and then you can look like what it's going to look like with brand new hardwood or carpeting, whatever it may be that you're looking for. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All our listeners can receive a $350 off discount by using the promo code PHNX. Restrictions apply. See EmpireToday.com/PHNX for details.
I need the details on Budda Baker post-extension. Bo, you heard from him today. Budda Baker's goals entering the final 3 games and his 3-year contract. Let's hear from the All-Pro safety.
Just for them to be able to, this is my 4th coaching staff and, my 2nd GM. So just for them to be able to continue to trust in me to be that certain player, on and off the field, for me was special. And just that ability to, have a team, with different coaching staffs and different records here and there, but just to be able to try and get better as a player, but get better as a group, and to win games ultimately, and to make hopefully go to the playoffs. And my main goal is getting the Super Bowl here in Arizona, and that's what I've stuck my mind to, and I'm going to continue to work hard and train and try to lead, the players and team to get to that point. But till then, we're going to take it one day at a time, and we're going to, grind. We're going to live throughout the process, live in the present, and let everything else take care of itself. Be able to try and get better as a player, but get better as a group, and to win games ultimately, and to make hopefully go to the playoffs. And my main goal is getting the Super Bowl here in Arizona. And
love our guy.
I mean, that's what we're going to get from Budda Baker. I mean, it's whatever the fan base is craving, he's craving it even more so. He's putting in the work. You had a couple clips there edited together where he's just kind of going through his ups and downs. He even admitted, like, I haven't won a lot here. 2017, he gets in first year under Bruce Arians. And, I think they finished a game under 500 that season.
No, they were 8-8.
They were 8-8. Didn't they have a tie? Weren't they
year before?
Oh, okay.
2016.
They were 8-8. And then, BA retires and Wilkes comes in for one season. They were horrible, 3-13. And Wilkes is blown out. And then they bring in, Cliff Kingsbury, the overcorrection to Wilkes. And he has 4 seasons with an 8-8 season sprinkled in there and a playoff run. And then since then it's been, back-to-back 4-win seasons. Budda has had to endure a lot. And, as much as he's part of the solution, he had to lose a lot of football games along the way. And I think that's where the frustration was after the 3rd coaching staff was blown out. Like, is this ever going to get right? And to your point earlier in the show, for those who are just joining us, one of the big components, if not the biggest, was Jonathan Gannon, the head coach, and defensive coordinator Nick Rollis, and the culture that they've been able to kind of build here in the nearly 2 seasons with the Arizona Cardinals, that Budda Baker is completely bought into and loves the state of Arizona, something that he expressed, but wants to be a part of bringing great football to this state.
Budda's commitment to Arizona and this fan base has never wavered, but you're only as good as the people that you work with at the end of the day, and that lead. And it only takes, we've been fortunate to be around JG for just a minute here in the media and privately, and you're around Jonathan Gannon for any prolonged period of time. His personality is infectious, and you're what to achieve for him at the highest level. It's very Arians-esque in a different way. Mm-hmm. And Budda Baker, he was basically convinced 18 months in, like, I'm going to finish my career playing for this man. And again, like, that tells you everything you know about Budda Baker, but again, about Jonathan Gannon and where this franchise is headed, regardless of how this season ends. And we're hoping they make a run and win the NFC West at 10-7. If things break right, you should just feel confident that guys like James Conner and Budda Baker, yes, they're being paid a premium, but man, oh man, they could have tested the market, and they could have said, I'm going to go and championship chase in Baltimore or Buffalo or Kansas City or Philadelphia. And they said, nope, I like where we're headed. I know we're going in the right direction. You're not signing a deal here as a retirement tour, Terrell Suggs style, or some of these players that have come here purely for a cash grab. So I do think Budda Baker meant what he said when he wanted to get traded, because as we defended him on this show, it's like enough's enough. Cardinals had no mojo at that time, even after getting JG and Austin Ford. They were doing damage control. They were shipping out players, Hopkins and Isaiah Simmons. Kyler was hurt. They have never been more down bad. Like, people think that the Chicago Bears are down bad right now. Go look at what the Cardinals did last year, stripping this puppy down. I mean, they're a couple games away from finishing 9-8, 10-7. And they got a bunch of money to spend. And most of their team is young. I mean, Budda Baker's presence on this team, Bo, is imperative, along with James Conner, because of the influx of youth. I mean, look at the ascension of the secondary this year. Max Melton and Starling Thomas and Garrett Williams. It doesn't just happen. It probably happens due to the development, yes, that they're getting from JG and Nick Rallis, but just being around Budda Baker and knowing what it means to be a consummate pro. Yeah. So it is such a win for this fan base. I got multiple text messages yesterday. It's just a great day to be an Arizona Cardinal fan, because we did not look forward. If he signed elsewhere, as fun as this offseason is going to be, that would have been a killer day. That would have been brutal. And now we don't have to have that happen. No,
they don't have to have that happen. And I think our hunch was proven correct. Like, we understood the reasoning behind the trade request. Yeah. It was from a very different place than, I think, Patrick Peterson a couple of years back.
Yeah.
It was with Pat P, it was like things got tough for the first time in a long time, and he wanted a one-way ticket out of here, where Budda Baker had endured a lot. And there was no continuity, no semblance of continuity. And it seemed like the definition of insanity just seemed to be the way of things around this organization. And, once he got to, and he even mentioned that he had lunch with Gannon. And it was like, that's really all you needed to. Like, I'm sure there was like what he was getting in, as far as insight from his representation, where he needed to stay away. And it was kind of funny to think about Budda Baker, somebody that you have to tackle to keep out of the facility at times, right? And I'm sure it was just horrible for him to stay away during that time, during voluntary OTAs and stuff. But you kind of had a hunch that, like, once he got in this building, once he met JG, once he met Rallis, they were going to be so like-minded and they were going to be so quickly in lockstep, absolutely, that it was just going to be one of those relationships that you knew was going to work out. You ever meet two different people or have two different friend groups, and two people would just click if you just introduced them to each other? I mean, that's JG and Budda.
It's like the three brothers on this show. Man, getting sentimental. That's right.
Have I introduced you to my friend Damon, Dawg?
I don't know him. I don't know her. The Mariah Carey. What does Kyler Murray think of Budda Baker and James Conner's extension? Let's hear from the franchise quarterback.
I mean, I think, it's a testament to just doing your job each day, obviously, proving yourself every day, continue to work hard, and doing the right things, not only on the field, but off the field. Those are two guys that, to me, they do everything right. You don't got to worry about them outside the building. You can trust them, like I said, on and off the field. And, they hold everybody accountable. So, I couldn't name two better guys to go to war with.
I will never forget when Budda Baker and James Conner consistently stood up for Kyler Murray 2 years ago. And it's cool to see these guys hopefully reach the crescendo together, at least have some success here. It is pretty nuts. We're sitting here 2 years later. Kyler, James, Budda are all still around. I mean, and they're going to be around at least through next year, and hopefully for years to come, Bo.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Two guys I'll always be willing to go to war with right there. I mean, there's in this day and age, that's really the ultimate compliment and sign of respect. But yeah, really what those guys do transcends the playing field and put themselves in two positions that recently have come under fire in the league. And it's not going to be the case here for the Arizona Cardinals. You produce, you lead, you do everything that's asked of you and more. You're going to be rewarded by this organization. We do have some comments from Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. on their connection. We want to get into that after we talk about some great sponsors.
Yeah, let's do that. Marvin, K1 right around the corner. Yeah, I'm gonna rate Drew Petzing's passing grade a C- thus far this season. But how about the Rate Bowl? Downtown Phoenix is hopping around the holidays. Get ready to huddle up at Chase Field for college football postseason action at the Rate Bowl. It kicks off December 26th, just 8 days away, 3:30 p.m. Kansas State Wildcats are taking on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. I wonder if Max Melton will be in attendance. Probably has a sweet, sweet sideline pass. Got family in town for the holidays? Huddle up and bring them in. Looking for a little holiday vacation fun? Huddle up with friends. Come on down. My son wants to go. I'm like, yeah, I can get tickets to the Rate Bowl. I can get tickets to the Fiesta Bowl. We're going to be having fun together. Join us for the game in the Major League Baseball Park, making it one of the most unique and fun atmospheres in sports. That's because we're here in AZ. You can have a bowl game in a Major League Baseball Park. We're having a great time. It's also the only bowl game featuring a matchup between Big 10 and Big 12 teams. That's nuts. Two of the toughest in the country. Game tickets, premium experiences, and reserved parking are all available. Get yours now, ratebowl.com, Bo.
What else are we talking about here? Is it game time?
I think it's our friends at the merchandise locker.
Oh, our sweet friends at the merchandise locker that we are repping. Not as hard as any show on the network and rep. I've got this brand new Branded Bills PHNX collab. Johnny's got the other one, the pennant PHNX flag hat. It's unbelievable. You're wearing a PHNX shirt too?
I am. This is one of the newest ones. So we're diehard for our diehards here. We've had an influx of diehards. How about this one right here? Rise Up Redbirds. It's an Arizona diehard. And, I splurged this holiday season on myself. All of this was purchased by me at the merchandise locker. We love to see it, Bo Brock.
You can too as well. I mean, if you're not a diehard, you're not cashing in on your free t-shirt or your free hat, you can just go to the phnxlocker.com and let's see all the great merchandise, all the great additions. How about the 18 collection? Still the only way to rep 18 through the 18 collection, including the celebratory tee. You got to check that one out. Maserati Marv. And look at those beautiful hats. You got the camo, you got the pennant, and you got the Phoenix. They're all great. Great collaboration with Branded Bills. Check them out, phnxlocker.com.
My boys repping the Branded Bills hats, and Johnny haven't paid a pretty penny for them, but not too pretty of a penny because they're Branded Bills. Very affordable.
That's right.
I'd pay whatever it costs to buy this hat because it's so elite. Breaking it in here. Let's break into the question on everybody's mind here. What the hell's wrong with this passing game? Before we do, drop a like on this video. We got over 500 watching. We appreciate you. This is your premier Arizona Cardinal podcast. Hit that like. As Baldy said, be a hell of a week to get this MHJ thing going. He talked up Christian Gonzalez, but he also said something that we've been banging the drum for. Hey, this is the time where you can kind of maybe screw around and figure out your passing game. Will that happen this weekend? What's going on with Marvin Harrison Jr.? Here's K1 on MHJ.
Yeah, I'm it's funny because obviously Sunday he was probably a little disappointed and, frustrated, which I totally get. There's excitement there for me just because we have so much room to grow, and I think rookie year, I don't know necessarily exactly what he deals with every day, as far as the game's got to slow down for you, And we were talking the other day, like Buffalo, he said the game was moving so fast for him, which none of y'all know. You know what I mean? Like, no one knows that except for how he was feeling that day. Hell, I didn't even know it until, a week ago. But, like, that's just is what it is. For rookies, sometimes the game's moving faster, it's moving slower for others. But, I think there's just so much room for us to continue to get better. With the reps, I know he's going to get better. I know we'll get better as our continuity grows.
I mean, I think now people are looking for more action, less talk. I mean, but you're going to ask them about it each and every week until something happens as far as maybe see a consistent uptick as far as the production from that duo.
You're not getting a Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson like rookie year. And I think that we all maybe naively thought like that was the bar for MHJ. And now the bar is much more in line with, a routine rookie season for a first round receiver. In a run-heavy offense. And they're going to have kind of a heart-to-heart this offseason, come to, football Jesus moment where you're just like, hey, we need to be able to have big explosives again. And here's Kyler Murray on those big explosives. Where are they? We're looking for them.
I think there was a couple plays that we left out there, some explosives that could have been had. Just got to be. I think we got to be better. Obviously, in the pass game, continue to try to find more explosives. 28th in the league when creating those, which is pretty low. So I think we got to be better. Obviously, we're running the ball pretty well, but we won the game. We won the game, and that's all that matters. So, all right, now that's the name of the game. I could really care less about the stats and all that stuff. We got to win.
I like that bite. After what I heard from Drew Petzing yesterday, and Drew Petzing's naming off the stats, and Kyler's like, I don't care about the stats. Yes, we scored 30 points. We're 28th in explosives. Like, I think that's why, like, people are frustrated with Drew Petzing, where it's like, we need something that resembles like, I need to be better. We need to be better. And that's, say what you want about Kyler Murray. That's all we're getting this year. Every time he sits up there, he's never content. He's taking accountability. You can piss and moan about his on-field play, and man, oh man, we are on a collision course to hell on earth a week from Saturday at, SoFi, if that game doesn't go well.
The Kyler Murray Super Mega Redemption Bowl?
For the cure. Yes, absolutely. The Office style. But I just, like, that's exactly what they need to be saying. They left a lot of meat on the bone. They have no big explosives. So I approve Kyler Murray of that presser bite.
Now, who wants to win this division bowl?
How about the Kyler Murray redemption game?
Okay.
That's what I like. Let's get some redemption for K1. And I mean, we're 3 games away from an NFC West championship, assuming things break right for this team. And it's going to get fun after this weekend if they beat Carolina, regardless of how it looks, and they're sitting at 8-7, and they got 2 divisional matchups between them and an NFC West championship. That's a good feeling.
We heard from one part of this battery. Let's hear from the other. Marvin Harrison Jr. on all the certain factors that go into him having a productive day.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a part of it. It's not just me. That's just every receiver. Sometimes the ball doesn't go your way when you're always open, or you may not be the first read or second read in that play. Whether it's the pocket might break down. There's a lot of factors for a receiver to have the yards that's considered successful in the league. There's so many steps to even get to me just catching the ball and getting open. So it's kind of the nature of the receiver position, and kind of embrace it from there.
I almost think like you need to simplify it at some point. Like when you start bringing in all the different factors and stuff, like, and I think this comes onto the shoulders of the play caller and say, hey, we're just going to set up, some simple layup, pass, and catches for Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. Like you're going to walk before you can run. And maybe like there were some, and I do feel like Drew Petzing is, as far as putting Marvin Harrison Jr. far too often and lower percentage opportunities to catch footballs, that it would just benefit just to get a couple easy pass and catches in there, and you don't have to think about all the factors. It was just a simple Kyler Murray drops back to pass, finds 18, gets him going. I don't care if it's 2, 3, 4 yard, plays for Marvin Harrison Jr. And what's the worst that can happen? Like he breaks one for, turns it into an explosive play.
And think about, I would compare it to James Conner, who can start games 7 carries, 17 yards. And we're talking about on our halftime show, like, got to get James Conner going. And it's those rhythm carries. I think the same thing can be said for Marvin Harrison Jr. To your point, Bo, like, think about if he's not getting those layup easy targets, and then maybe he doesn't have a catch and his confidence wanes. I mean, this is a very impressionable young man. This is not somebody that's been in the league, that's seen it all, that's done it all. And shame on us because we assumed that the transition would be easier. But this is a very difficult game. And he's playing with a new quarterback who happens to be undersized in an offense that really has limited opportunities throwing the ball downfield. I just think there's just so many factors working against Marv right now. And yes, does he need to be a little bit more of a dog? Could he be more selfish? Absolutely. Like if he's playing for Kevin O'Connell right now, he's probably a little bit more productive. And I think we can all agree on that, right? But they have to find common ground as it relates to finding him success this Sunday. Because as much as I love James Conner and Trey McBride, I don't think that you can beat the Rams and even the 49ers now with their, linebacking core revitalized. You can't beat those teams to end the year with a ground and pound attack. You have to be able to throw the ball vertically. The Arizona Cardinals now, Carolina is awful defensively. They are. I mean, Cooper Rush threw 3 touchdowns last week. CeeDee Lamb did whatever he wanted, and that's with their running back going for what, a career high 160, as Baldy said. You can have your cake and eat it too this week. And I think one of the biggest disheartening moments of Sunday was you had opportunities to scorch the Patriots through the air, and then you were like, you know what, this isn't working, so we're just going to run the football, and we're going to get the dub. That's a ceiling, and the fans know that there's a ceiling with that approach. But
what is it? Paralysis by overanalysis, right?
Yeah.
You ever? I'm sure this has happened to you quite a bit. You ever go out? You're not a consistent golfer, right?
I am not. No.
You get out on the course and you're with somebody who thinks they know the game. Maybe they're a good golfer, and they're trying to give you a couple tips, and they're like, oh, keep your head down. Like, yeah, absolutely.
Lock your elbows.
Yeah, and they're giving you everything, and it's just too much. It's like it's simply just see ball, hit ball, or see ball, catch ball, and I think that just from those comments, and it could be way off base, that it could just be Marvin entertaining us and trying to give us something of substance from the question that was asked, and just being a professional, with a couple microphones and cameras in his face, or is that what is happening behind the scenes where they're trying to rally this guy, where it's just like, you know what, would probably do him best, just drop some simple plays for the guy.
Yeah.
Get him in rhythm.
Hey, Marv, swing pass to open up the game. Hey, Marv, reverse to open up the game. Hey, quick slant to Marvin Harrison. No,
Carolina
actually,
wouldn't expect it. Like, I'll accept if J.C. Horn steps in front of it and rips it down for a pick six, because it's never been on tape for them before.
it honestly feels like Bo, unless it's a go route and his separation could be better. I'm giving everybody that. But like, his separation looked pretty good on that crossing route where he cooked Christian Gonzalez. And these are 2 elite athletes. Gonzalez has a year in the NFL, albeit he was hurt last year. But to hear those comments from Marv where it's like the speed is, it'll be a great way to slow the game down for Marv. Easy pitch and catch. Instead of these, to your point, everything is low percentage. I hate it.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of it. And I think the Cardinals would behoove them. I don't know if you can completely fix this passing game in one singular game, but maybe it's enough to swing MHJ's confidence back to where you need it to be able to go into that pivotal matchup on Saturday Night Football and say, hey, Marv, this is just like when you went, to South Bend and torched Notre Dame. Like, we're gonna simplify this for you and get you enjoying playing football again, because this can't be fun for him. He's getting picked apart by the media. His numbers aren't where they were. We remember it the week after the Charger game, just talking about, this is not where I thought I would be. And then they got him going, and then they went away from it. It's like, no, Marvin should be, if not 1A to Trey McBride, certainly 1B every single week. And too often they forget about him.
And
that's
what would
unacceptable.
it do to this offense? What would that do to this offense?
It would make them true contenders in the
transform it.
NFC. Yeah.
It would transform it. It would go from, pretty average, as far as points per game. I think they're like 15th or 16th, right? Just over 20 points per game.
It's what they need. It's what the entire team needs. And we've been banging on it for 2 months now. Hold or fold the line coming up. I want to welcome everybody off our streaming platforms here. Jumping on over to gophnx.com. We got over 520 watching live. Hit that like button. It helps exponentially when you guys smash the like here this holiday season. Let's dive into it, Bo Brock. Hold or fold the line. You were the lone soldier to get a dub last week. So, my friend, you lead us into
this previous week 15, redemption was spelled B-O. Fantastic. I took the buck.
Were you like on an 8-game losing streak here?
It wasn't great. I think it was like 6, maybe 7.
You're doing the thing you accused Johnny of, where it's the verbal meme of the guy biting the metal in like 37th place.
I'm
Can
sorry.
we talk about how?
Right. First off, why don't we look at the standings and see actually what that
Hang on, real quick.
hitting on my bet actually meant?
Real quick before we do that, Shane comes and does hold or fold the line one time. He does minus 120 for his pick.
One of the
Could
worst
not have been
ever.
could not have been a worse pick. I like Mr. Betting Savant, Shane Diefenbach comes on the show, throws his name into the ring, immediately asked to leave. Goodbye.
I'd be
Shane.
embarrassed. Yeah, I'd be embarrassed for sure. How about Johnny trying to weaponize my Dolphins against me? I mean, I
That's exactly
right
what I
through
said.
that. Too bad the Dolphins were playing a team with a winning record, so just never ever going to happen. And yeah, you know what, guys? I let Johnny and Bo get in my head last week.
Oh, geez.
Boy.
I tried to go for the big money odds. They were getting in my head. They were telling me I wasn't, putting enough on the line. It's okay. Hey, I'm going to play my game. There's a reason I've been playing my game all season.
Sure, Jan. Okay. Let's take a look at our holder for the line
Scoreboard
on the season. I have gotten back ahead of Johnny at just 1.9 units. Johnny is at minus 2.55 units, while Damon is the only one that's in the money right now, up 2.84 units on the season.
I was plus money for like a day, like a month ago. And then it's like you go on your payday and you immediately spend it all. That's me. It was burning a hole in my pocket. All right, Mr. Plus Money.
It's your
Damon,
first paycheck as an adult. It's like, oh, it's got to go to rent. It's got to go to car insurance.
Time to buy a cotton candy machine. That was me after I won holder for the line with that Cowboys pick a month ago. All right, Damon Dawg, since you are in plus money, what do you like this week, my friend?
Let's do it. I don't know if this is going to cause controversy or not. We'll see.
Geez.
Oh,
I'm parlaying. I got 2.
Oh, God.
How do we feel about that?
this is gross.
Okay, loser.
So he took 2 wildly big favorites.
I took the Bengals minus 380 at home against the Browns, parlayed it with the Rams minus 170 to get plus 100 even odds with those 2 games.
DTR
It's fine.
starting for the Browns.
Easiest leg of a parlay ever. Kind of feels like I just have Rams money line plus money. That's kind of how I feel right now.
Rams against the Jets. Is that game in LA or New York?
New York
or New Jersey? Wow.
So we got to confirm we need the Jets to win that game. Or no, we need the Rams to win that game to get the triple tie for division tiebreaker, whatever. If the Cardinals and the Seahawks are tied at the end of the year without the Rams being a part of it, the division would go to Seattle. So we need the Rams to go 2-1. So the Rams have to win this weekend. So Damon, I have no issue with that.
I really feel like I got Rams basically at even money. Rams money line, even money. Because the Bengals, I mean, that's the easiest win of the year.
Yeah, I still feel gross. I still feel like I need a shower after it. But yeah, I might actually bet that. I might actually bet that myself on
So it sounds like you're kind of holding.
Bet365. I will hold with you on this.
Yeah, I hold it by default because we need the Rams to win. So I'm not going to go against that.
I found the grossest game. I think the 2024 NFL slate pretty much could offer this season.
100%.
The Jacksonville Jaguars without Trevor Lawrence at 3-11 against the 2-12 Las Vegas Raiders. The 2-12, please beat us, Raiders. We want to hold on to the top pick. I just think that the Jaguars actually are the better team. Give me Mac Jones over who's playing quarterback this week for the Raiders.
Ritter, no?
Oh, Ritter. Yeah, absolutely. Slam dunk.
Could be O'Connell.
Like we've seen some decent defensive performances from the Jaguars. They lost. I say that they gave up 32 to Aaron Rodgers' corpse. But they held the Titans to 10-6 in a win. That's the type of game this is going to be. Give me the Jags and Mac Jones.
I love what I'm seeing from Mac Jones. I love the Riz face. I love the spin move, and I love the viability he has given to this passing game. So I'm with you. That's one of the hardest holds I'm going to have this year. Raiders are toast. Antonio Pierce is the definition of a fraud. Tom Brady is going to take a sledgehammer to that franchise this offseason. No one will be left standing. Hopefully the Cardinals make a call on a certain edge rusher named Max Crosby. But I love that. Continue to rack up losses for the Raiders. Damon, are you holding as well?
Yeah, I'll hold. And Johnny, that was almost poetic, the way that you waxed off right there. That was awesome.
I appreciate that. Well, let's see if we can make it 3 for 3, fellas. And I'm going to will this into existence here. This is my first prop of the year, and it can't come at a better time. Trey McBride, let's do it, friends. Anytime touchdown plus 125. Kyler Murray sliding into, I think, Trey McBride's mentions
TikTok?
On Instagram or TikTok, basically saying, we will get you a touchdown, Trey. It will happen. It is coming. Why not come this weekend against lowly Carolina? McBride's maids for life. I will bet this on Bet365. I'm not all talk. I will bet this weekend with my own money. It'll probably be boosted. It will be a part of our boosted bets here on Bet365. Trey McBride, anytime touchdown. Let's do it, friends.
Love it. Never loved anything more. Trey McBride, so due. No one's ever been more due.
Yep.
I'm holding.
They've given up 10 touchdowns to the tight end position this year. They've given up the second most fantasy points to the tight ends this season, the Carolina Panthers. This is a Trey McBride's made day.
If Tip Ryman scores and Trey McBride doesn't, I will walk off the set. Just I'm giving everybody for a warning. We are going to be at Gila River Resorts and Casinos this weekend, having a great time, kegs and eggs. But if Tip Ryman steals Sweet Baby Trey's touchdown, I do not think I will be able to continue on the show.
I don't know if I'll have to be the guy that says it. I think I will, but and gamble responsibly. But I think time to pull out a second mortgage. Trey McBride anytime touchdown this weekend.
Can we get Tip Ryman anytime touchdown odds? Have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to tell you what it is in real time. Tip Ryman to score a touchdown this week. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Anytime touchdown is plus 2,200 for Tip Ryman. First touchdown for Tip Ryman, 9 plus 9,000. If you got a bonus bet with Bet365, it might not be a bad place to invest some of your funds. You guys have been investing funds via super chats. Let's do it. Baharo3 kicking us off, $2. Baker and Darnold are new OCs, double the TDs of K1 Petsing. Biggest indictment, I think, of Petsing and Kyler Murray this year, what Baker Mayfield is doing, what he did last year, what Sam Darnold is doing. I think Kyler Murray has the ability to throw 25, 30 touchdowns a year, and to sit here and have 15 with 3 games left, it's befuddling, and I hate it.
Yeah, it is. It is not fun to watch what we view as lesser quarterbacks put up big, huge numbers, way ahead of next stratosphere level over Kyler Murray. So, yeah, no doubt about it. I think that it certainly is an indictment as far as play calling, and obviously you can prop those other quarterbacks up by their play callers. I mean, Canales is in Charlotte now with the Carolina Panthers, but Baker continues to his career renaissance. Illa Dre, always love to hear from our guy Illa Dre. $4.99 feels good to have a competent GM, no doubt about it. Monty Osfort really knows what he's doing. You know, after Budda got he got extended yesterday, you start to look at who's under contract and for how long, like Kyler Murray, Darius, Marvin Harrison Jr., 2028. You got all these guys from the recent rookie class through 2027, and you can add Budda to that group. I think you can add Trey to that group here as soon as possible. It's a really great core to get excited about, regardless of how this season finishes.
Josh Espada, friend of the program, $4.99. Can't wait for the Cards to draft Scattaboo, so Damon has to keep watching ASU players succeed while U of A collapses. Go Cards, go Devils. We will talk ad nauseum Scattaboo to AZ this offseason. Damon, do you care to respond to this?
Yeah, Josh, I did see your super chat you sent last week when I wasn't here. I didn't appreciate it, and yeah, you know what? Maybe that will happen, and maybe I'll just have to cry and think about all the horrible players that are coming out of Arizona, like Tet McMillan, top 5 to 10 pick in the NFL draft. We're not producing anybody over in Tucson. So
that will be, I think, your 2025 safe space is watching T-Mac play in the pros. Like you're like, I don't have a lot, but this is where I can go.
When they do the Ring of Honor ceremony in Tucson, and I can remember the good times.
Just whatever team he's playing for. Hopefully it's not residing in the AFC East and just continues to be like you would have to watch T-Mac be a nightmare to your favorite team.
Honestly, that's kind of the scenario I'm thinking is going to happen. He goes to the Patriots right now. I already had to watch Gronk, who's the best player I've ever seen from U of A, play for the Patriots for majority of his career. So it's kind of just expected at this point.
That's not the worst thing. The worst thing is that your head coach is coming back. I'm going to be real with you, Damon. I did not see one T-Mac highlight this year from U of A football, like on my timeline. And what is his name? I don't think I saw any from him. I'm like, has he been in just...
Didn't he have like 200 yards against Houston? Didn't he have 300 yards against Houston?
He had like almost 400 against New Mexico.
New Mexico.
U of A football, man. They need a shot in the arm. They need a new coach.
They're like Marshall was.
Who?
Like, you see Marshall had to opt out of their bowl game this year because basically they had 30 people into the portal after their coach got let go. And I'm like, U of A's not that far behind.
And they kept their coach.
Yeah.
God. He had like 370. Yeah. I mean, T-Mac balling in the NFL is an indictment of the head coach. Brennan, is that his name?
Yeah. Schaff is putting Kyler's 15 TDs, 16th among NFL starters. That's sad. And you heard in the comments from Kyler Murray, he had the little nugget there, 28th as far as was it passing yardage, and just acknowledging that they have to be better. So this is not good. It's not good enough.
But like, I would argue that the offense at the end of the day wants to run the football, and Drew Petzing has no issue with the passing game numbers. I've seen nobody take accountability from the coaching staff, basically like, until we fix our passing game, like we're not going to get to where we want to be. I think a lot of fans feel like Kyler Murray, where it's just like, we can run the football and we can score 30 points, but the Cardinals, as good as their O-line has been, and we didn't even talk about Paris today, like,
yeah,
they have an opportunity. They should be able to throw the football at least average in the NFL. They're not even average throwing the football. That's the tough part. I mean, when you're in the 20s, you're some of the worst. You get one of the worst passing offenses in the NFL. Paris Johnson Jr., Bo, real quick, did not practice today. Calvin Beachum, usually get a Veterans Day rest, did practice. Is that a cause for concern in your opinion?
Yeah, because of what you just said. I mean, what we've seen the last couple weeks, Calvin Beachum, grandpa, has gotten the vet's day off. Didn't have that luxury this week because Paris Johnson Jr. was a DMP, did not practice. A surprise, player that we didn't see out there today. We weren't expecting to see Mac Wilson, who continues to deal with the concussion, Lucetta with the thigh, Trey Benson with the ankle. Matt Prater returned to practice today. His practice window's open, but Paris Johnson Jr., your starting left tackle, really going to be curious to see how they approach this, because you're going up against Carolina. You don't want to get caught looking too far ahead, with your biggest game of the season just a week away. But you want to have your starting left tackle in good shape and in the best shape he can be. Like, are they going to maybe try to get away with Beach at left tackle and Jonah Williams at right tackle against the Panthers?
Paris Johnson Jr., I don't think has missed a snap or a game since he became an Arizona Cardinal.
Like a meaningful snap, because he wasn't in there when the starters came out of the game. Yeah, exactly.
He's never missed a game to injuries, never come off the field.
Yeah.
He's a war daddy. He's an elite player, ascending player. The Cardinals need him. Do they need him to beat Carolina? I don't know. With the way this offense is, I want my best players out there, whether it's Carolina or the Rams or whomever. And I love Beach, and I thought he should have continued playing, but I don't know. Jadeveon Clowney still plays for them. They got some guys.
He was on their injury list too, wasn't he? Jadeveon Clowney was there. He was sick and he has a knee. He did not practice. We'll continue to follow that. J.C. Horn got a rest day. So did Chuba Hubbard. We're not going to see Xavier Legette. Hasn't he already been ruled out?
He's out. Yeah.
Adam Thielen got a rest day because he's 97 years old.
It's funny. Yeah. Leo in the chat saying Paris got rolled up on Connor's last TD, and I'd forgotten about that. I was sitting next to Britton Golden, and he pointed that out in the studio. He said Paris got hurt. So, yeah, maybe they're just going to say, hey, Grandpa, dust off the old shoulder pads one more time here, and let's get this dub. Be very very Calvin Beachum-esque to come in and save the day at tackle one more time. You guys have saved the day today with your likes, your generosity, your super chats, your comments. We appreciate everybody here that subscribes to this podcast. It would be very, very appreciated if everybody grabbed their mobile phone, your smart device, go to your podcast, PHNX Cardinals, wherever you subscribe, iTunes, Spotify, Apple, whatever is your taste, your preference. Go and find PHNX Cardinals. Drop us a follow. Drop us a review. We're the #1 Arizona Cardinal podcast. That is thanks to all of you. And content's not going anywhere, Bo.
No, it's not. We'll continue to load you up. We're not live tomorrow, but we're going to have great content right here. Make sure you subscribe to PHNX Sports on YouTube, approaching 35K. Big thank you to each and every one of you who have already subscribed. If you haven't done so already, What are you doing? Yeah, as Owen says, HTL, hold the line for PHNX Sports and PHNX Cardinals. Make sure you're following along at PHNX_cars and PHNX Sports. Johnny Venerable at Damon, Dawg, myself, Bo Brack. You guys have a great rest of your Wednesday. We will talk to you Friday. Full game preview. Can't wait.
We all silly like the mayor.